I wonder, did you ever get sucked into the dividend game?
No, no,
No.
thank goodness.
Okay, because I mean, I feel like a lot of newer investors, not during times of like speculative growth, because right now most people are focused on like, give me growth, growth, growth.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes newer investors also get sucked into the whole like, oh, it's an 8% yield. That's like free money, but really you're investing in a company that's not growing at all and actually
Hmm.
shrinking,
Yep.
and you can get trapped in like these value traps,
Yeah.
which I know for a while, like YouTube
That was
creators,
all they
it
were
was
talking about.
only dividend investing. And it was like, you guys know that like you're losing money compared to the market. But like most people just ignore that fact. They're just like, oh, but I'm getting like, $50 a month in dividends. It's like, well, yeah, but if you invested in the index, like you would have been way
You
better off. Your total returns are way better. And they're like, no, no, it's all about passive income. It's like, okay.
I was like, okay, take off once we add taxes in there, add inflation in there. What's your real word? Like, it's just I got lucky
Yeah.
because I was the way I even got started with like single stocks. I read the what's it called? Intelligent Investor, and then I started
Yeah.
watching a channel where he was like, everybody would say, oh, you're a dividend investor. And he would always push back and be like, no, I just happen to have dividend stocks in my portfolio right now. I'm not
Yeah.
either one of these things. I just invest in good companies. And plus, other people would make fun of him because he will own like Apple and Microsoft. And they'll be like, oh, you say you're a dividend investor, but you own Microsoft and Apple. And he was like, look, man, I'm not out here just, he was like, I'm 20 something. I'm not trying to be only for like I have such a long run. What am I going to do with these dividends anyways? Like they pay me what $200 every
Mhm.
quarter or something like that. It's like, what am I going to do with that? Like I can't retire on this. So what's the point? And so that really helped me in just like shaping like, okay, I don't want to just be focused on these just dividends alone and ignoring
Yeah.
the entire market of like so many other great companies that you can invest in as well.
And what's also interesting is that, like, depending on your age, you talked about your age, right? That you're young. It's like the younger you are, the more growth focused
Yep.
and risk you can take.
Yep.
Whereas the older you are, maybe you do want to shift to the dividend stocks
Mm-hmm.
because, they may not generate alpha and they actually may underperform. But if there is a short term downswing with volatility, like your income is safe,
Yep.
which
Yep.
which is what you're relying on.
Yep.
So I think, yeah, it's tough to give blanket advice.
Yeah.
And everything we do isn't like, it's not advice because I don't know your life. That's why I always just talk about like what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But like maybe you're 18, maybe you're 50. It's going to be a different situation for
Yeah,
every
right.
person.
Yeah. And it's I always tell people is like take take the meat or eat the meat, spit out the bones. Like so there's so much good information out there, but first you got to figure out what is it that you're looking for. And until you know that, you're not going to know what exactly you want to focus on because you're just going to be chasing or you're just going to be copying what other people are doing. And
Yeah.
then it's not going to work for you because they have a different plan of what they're doing. And it's like you got to learn, but
It,
take in the information, but don't necessarily implement every single thing you hear.
I was just say that's why like when I talk about stuff, I try to like teach people to fish instead of like giving them the fish.
Yeah.
Because first of all, yeah, you don't want to rely on some person on social media to tell you what to buy, you know, and all that. That's just a really bad dynamic, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because then if that person goes away, stops doing stuff, or I mean, maybe they're not honest and transparent with what they're doing, you can just get hurt. So
Yep.
it's like, if people are taking away the educational points and then applying that knowledge to their own like risk tolerance and kind of their goal, like what's the goal, what is your goal, right?
Yep. Yep.
And then take it from there.
Yeah. I think that's just that's one of the things that I loved about which is why I like saw you on TikTok and I was like, I need more. And then I went on YouTube and I saw some of your old videos on crypto and all that stuff from like 2017. But then you started making new YouTube videos and I was like, yes, we're happy about this. And so
Well,
it was,
that's when I went full time
oh, you did.
trader. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. That's awesome.
I hope you enjoyed that little snippet of the Rambling Mind podcast. If you want more of the Rambling Mind podcast, or if you want to listen to the whole episode that you just heard, go check it out on any podcast listening platform, whether that be Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Breaker, Stitcher. I could go on, but you guys already know which podcast you love to use to listen to. So go check it out. Link down in the description as well. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.